welcome back to my channel. I'm Denny, and today I will be putting this eye look together as well as answering some questions that I received from a few of my subbies. I think it was like about 5 or 6 videos back I had asked for some questions to do a Q&A, and I am going to be answering those questions in this video. So if you're interested in seeing this look and seeing the questions that I was asked, just go ahead and keep on watching. So I already primed my eyes using the LA Colors eyeshadow primer, and now I'm gonna go ahead and set the color in my eye, on my eye. I'm gonna set the color with, I'm gonna be using the Urban Decay Gwen Stefani collab, and I'm gonna go in with the color Blondie, which is this top shade right here, which kind of looks like shrimp or their usual lightest shade. I've seen this shade in a bunch of their eyeshadow palettes, but this one is called something else. And the first question that I'm going to be answering is from Amy Lynn. She had asked me, have you lived in any other places? So I was born in New York, and then I've been raised in Philly. I came to Philly when I was 2 years old, and I have not left at all. So I've never lived anywhere else but Philadelphia. I mean, besides being born in New York, living there while I was a infant, and then moving here to Philly, I haven't lived anywhere else. Okay, so for my crease, I'm going to be using the same brush that I have here. I'm going to go with the Harajuku, well, no wait, this is called Anthem. I'm going to go with this Anthem brown color that's in here, and I'm going to go right into my crease area. And then the next question that she gave me as well was, how did I meet my husband Carlos? So I met Carlos at a bar. I met him while I was out one day. I recently had broken up with a boyfriend that I had, and I really didn't want to go out, and one of my friends was like, come on, don't be in your house down, let's go out. And I really didn't want to, but she kind of like kept insisting, so I ended up going out that night, and I met Carlos that night at this after hours bar that I had gone to. So I met him at a bar. Not too exciting. Now I'm gonna go into this Urban Decay palette, which I can't remember what it's called, but these are the funky colors. It's an old one, but it's still a good one. I don't know where I'm going with this look. Then she also asked me, how did my husband propose to me? So how did he propose to me? This is actually a funny story. Actually, my husband proposed to me. We were just laying in bed. We were just sitting there watching TV in bed, and he looked over at me and he said, you should marry me. And I said, did you just propose? And he's like, I kind of think I did. And I just looked at him and I said, sure. And it kind of just happened that way, you know, that he just asked the question and I answered, yeah. And then the real proposal, I mean, he didn't do it in front of my family or anything like that. Actually, we went to pick out a ring, and at the actual jewelry store, he got down on his knee once he had the ring in his hand, and he then proposed to me again. And the owner of the jewelry store says that everyone who's been proposed to in that store actually has stayed together, and I think that's true in our case because we have. I honestly don't know where I'm going with this look, but I'm just going for it. I wanted to try something a little bit different. So also the color that I went in with, this purple, is ransom. I feel like I am out of sorts. So the next set of questions comes from Sherry Ward, my girlfriend here on YouTube as well. She asked me, how long have I been married? I feel like all of these questions are about my my marriage or my husband. So we've been married for 12 years and we've been together for 13 years. We married each other the same day a year later from when we met. And if you're wondering what I'm putting on is fishnet. I feel like it's not pigmented enough. Wet it a little bit. So then she also asked me, have I always been into makeup or is it a new thing? I have been into makeup since I was a kid. I honestly have loved makeup all my life. My mom actually used to do makeup in a department store years ago, and I would love watching her do makeup. And I actually love makeup since I was a little girl. And I've always done my makeup. I've always done like really crazy looks, and a lot of my friends think I'm just weird, but now all of these crazy looks are coming into trends, and I wish I had photos of like how I used to do my makeup before, because it's all in style right now and I was doing it way before it became like a trend. And I would do a lot of like loud looks like the one that I'm doing today. I actually used to go to work in makeup like this. So just about all my life, I've loved makeup all my life, and it's not new to me. I mean, I'm not a makeup artist, so in that sense of like doing like proper looks, I'm not good at that, but playing in it, I can play in some makeup. So then she also asked me if I had to choose one palette that I had to use exclusively, and it would be that I would have to use exclusively for the rest of my life, which one would it be? That's a really hard question to answer. And now I'm going to be using the color Peace on the bottom lash line. That's such a hard question because I love color, even though I don't do a lot of colorful looks. So for me, it would have to be like one of those very colorful palettes that have like every single shade. It's kind of like a cheap palette, because I couldn't just go with like saying something like this because there's no matte shades in here. I couldn't go with something like this one because there's no color in this one, I mean, besides this top row. And I like to mix and match. So I would have to say I would probably buy one of those BH Cosmetics palettes that have like 120 some colors that I used to have years ago. And since that has the most, that would be the one that I would play with. Although those are either like mattes or shimmers, that I can't answer that question. I don't know how to answer that question because I love too many palettes and I can't decide on one. There's not just one. I need all of them. That gives me an idea of like, is anyone else like me that they can't just settle on like one palette? I'm the type of person who uses a palette for a couple of days, switches up, uses a different one, switches up, and I never want to use the same one over and over again. That's why I kind of like don't pan well. I don't pan palettes very well because I just can't stick to the one. I like rotating a lot, but I like really funky colored ones, but then I also like more natural ones. That's, Sherry, that's such a hard question. It's a good question, but it's a hard question. I'm sort of shadowing the other colors under. And then I'm going to place a little bit of this piece color in here to blend. With. So then the last question that I have is by Sweet Harmony, my girlfriend Tiffany. She asked me, do I still paint? And no, I haven't painted in quite a while, but I do want to get back into it. I stopped painting probably like a year or 2 years ago. I don't know if it's been more than that, but I haven't painted in a long while. I haven't painted anything, so I can't submit anything. But I think I do want to start painting again. I don't have the time. I wish like I had the time to paint and to do all types of crazy hobbies that I have. But at the moment I don't have the time to do any of it. So just as a follow-up to that painting, when I said submit it, I haven't painted, so whenever there's an art show I used to submit it, especially like at one of my old jobs. We used to have an annual art show, and I actually won second place on one of my paintings. This was years ago, and then I sold a bunch of paintings as well, but I haven't done it recently. So I don't know, my life has changed so much since then. I just don't have time. I lined my eyes using Physicians Formula Eye Booster, which I'm still in love with, if anyone's wondering. I mentioned it months ago in one of my favorites, and it's still true to this day. It's still one of my favorites. So I feel like I need to tie this look in with a little something, and I think I'm gonna go in with I'm gonna put bath water in my brow bone. That name is disgusting. I mean, unless you're saying clean bath water, like I haven't taken a shower yet, but if you say bath water after someone's been in it, kind of icky. So this is my completed look. I went ahead and put on the rest of my makeup, you know, contour, blush, highlight, and this lipstick, which if you're wondering what I have on, I have one of these NYX Live Out Loud. I don't know what collection this one belongs to, but this one is in the color Laugh Out Loud, which is something that I like to do often. And so as you already see it, this is what I have on. And if you were wondering what I am wearing for highlight in my inner corner, because I did add that, or what I'm wearing for highlight, it is the Flexitarian, and this is a ColourPop Super Shock Cheek highlighter. So everything else I did on camera. If you have any questions, comment section. So those were all the questions that were sent to me. It wasn't very many, but I still wanted to answer all those questions. I do plan on putting together another Q&A video sometime in the future. So if you have any questions that you would like to know about me or you would like answered, go ahead and add them in the comments below, and then I can pick them up from there. If you like this video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up. Go ahead and subscribe if you haven't done so already. Become a member of my Gonz family. And as always, from my house to yours. Love ya.